It's true. It's true what they can do. It's upsetting. They put me through it. They put my family through it. My son lives with me. He's mine. Not not them. And maybe I am too motherly. Isn't that kind of my job? So I'm not going to apologize for that. So I have to cut him some slack, you know. He was hanging out with his friend today. We're going to go eat steak tonight. Because I texted him earlier. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of eating fast food. I'm just tired of eating out of a box or a bag. I can cook stuff because I warmed up supper last night. But with no refrigeration, I can't keep anything. And I can't go to the store and keep it cool until time to fix it. So that's why we've been eating fast food. And I'm so sick of it, I could just scream. So he texts me back this morning when he gets done hauling his friend around that we will have steak dinner tonight, which is nice. But these people don't realize how many sleepless nights parents have as a result of their meddling. And I call it meddling because in our case that's what it was. Just like a lot of cases I've seen on YouTube. Sheer meddling. What else can you call it? Vindictiveness. Maybe someone's outspoken and wrote a letter to the editor like I used to do all the time. Well, we'll just get her, you know. Or maybe it was my old home ec teacher. Well, you can just, you know, screw her life up forever. You know, she burnt my crumb cake or whatever. Yeah. Well, no, I never really burnt anything in her class. I was pretty good. But who needs it? Who needs that kind of treatment, mistreatment? We didn't. A lot of people don't. So when they end up taking them to court and suing and winning mega millions, I like almost do a happy dance. I'm so happy for them that they can prove their case and win their bucks, and maybe from there life can begin to get healed all back up. Retaliatory power. Former social workers admit. That was the video I was just showing you. That they had seen cases where orders were placed by childless people who wanted to adopt and within the community saw a certain family that was in distress, having a hard time, and relayed to the workers that they would like those children. So, just like you heard on the video, I don't believe that's fake. I believe that's real. I have very good reasons to believe that's real. Okay? Saturn death cult. Degenerated into the obsessive pursuit of wealth and power through the perverted horrors of slavery, child sacrifice, and mass murder rituals. Now please, tell me why I shouldn't believe that one. You know? And maybe Child Protective Services think that they're the all-seeing eye of God. Maybe they're like at communes, I almost said cults, but maybe they think that they're the only ones that get anything from God. They get messages directly from God, and nobody else gets them. But it doesn't occur to people that that's kind of strange. That they would have a direct line from God that way, that only them get the proof. Well, maybe someone needs to remind God. Well, that's kind of crazy, but let everybody else know that they're reminding God by reminding God out loud to them in their presence that We would like a copy of that. Don't just make it be one person who gets these messages from God, because there's family out there in the sidelines that think, no, that's awful strange. We've got suspicion of that because it's suspicious. We get suspicions because that's what that is. It's suspicion. Suspicious. See? This has all been a torment for too many years. For me, too many years. I've read a lot of things on here. I read things I probably would not have read if it weren't for this. Stumbled onto things probably no human should have ever stumbled onto. But I did. Okay? All on behalf of my child. And Family Services probably didn't know it at the time, but when my mom got guardianship, my mom used to bring him over to me all the time. It was more like a role reversal, but Mom had to pay $500 or whatever court fee was, 500 something, to get the paperwork, to make it legal. He'd come over and spend the night on weekends. She'd pick him up for church. If they were out of town, I'd put him on the church bus. Because we'd quit going. By then we're thinking, what is the use? There was seemingly no use. And I did go to church a few times after that, realizing that there is a use, but not like we were. Not like we were at all. So, Family Services can also have the credit for that. Crazy, crazy friggin' world. And I should just open up my history again and cut to the chase on some of this. Might even go to my Facebook and show you some of my posts. And from there, just add me. Oh wait, I should go back a second. Wait a second. See, where'd it go? I saw it a minute. There it is. That's my son right there. See? We are friends. Family Services tried to ruin that, but guess what? Love is stronger than that. There, CPS, Family Services, Division of Family Services, Child Welfare, Social Welfare, whatever you want to call it. They are not love. They are not your friend. They're about money, about statistics that make more money, and my son and many other people's children are nothing but statistics and a meal ticket and a bonus and Title whatever that was, Title 4 bonuses and crap like that. So, but I can go to my YouTube and kind of let you see some of this stuff that I post because this is on my mind still. Ours was clear back in 88, or, well, Brad was born in 88. But yeah, it kind of, it started even before that because his older brother that died, I told him something was wrong with him, and they laughed in my face and called me hysterical. So then when Bradley came along, I guess they wanted to make up the difference or something. I don't know. So then they overdid it. Put him on a monitor, and he died on the monitor. And I thought I was for sure going to get the blame for that. So I shook him. Yeah. Shook him. To get him to wake back up. See, I had taken my chlorpromazine. And that's another thing. And I know I'm kind of like a scatterbrain because this has all been so damaging. They put me on chlorpromazine and sent me home with a baby on monitor. How much sense is that? Doesn't that sound like they were setting me up for a disaster right there? Setting me up for murder right then. Like, well, yeah, you can take your baby home. He's on a monitor, which is going to drive you up a wall anyway. Because it did. It went off every time he moved the wrong way and pulled those wires that were tucked down in his diaper. Or wherever they were, on these little pads that we stuck on him. So I shook him thinking, man, they're going to put me in prison. Well, then that wasn't good enough. And then by the time he was downtown with us at the downtown house and running away because we didn't have internet or cable, they were going to put me in prison for having locks on my doors. And a friend of mine who was going through some other stuff with the city took me down there to the courthouse. But of course they don't file it under put someone in prison for having locks on their doors. And I couldn't get the file because it's a juvie file. My son could probably get the file because it's his. But he'd probably be better off to make a written request for it. But as I am pretty sure, it doesn't say what I went through. When they brought me the warrant, it was folded in thirds. And my name was on the back. But they had the wrong last name. They had the last name W-E-B-B. Well, that's not my last name. I should have known by that to not even open it. Because it wasn't my name. It wasn't my thing. But inside they had my name. So, talking about crazy, crazy, crazy. I just can't stress enough how crazy it all has been. But see, they wanted to make me seem like the crazy one. And I know that sounds like a thing too. But if you look up the tactics, the Gestapo tactics, the Illuminati tactics, discrediting people and making them seem nuts is one of the tactics. So you don't need to be telling me that they weren't being tactical with me in that way, because I know they were. And I don't like it. I don't like it to happen to other people either. You know? I just don't like it. So, I wish I hadn't opened that one, but it was so long. Do you see how long that was? About this guy's picture? Get down to some more. I went over this one in the previous screencast, and I try to get the information to people who I know can use some backup in that way. They can use, at least someone to relate to that doesn't call them crazy. So, and yeah, I would really love it if the news stations had made all this up, but they didn't. They didn't. This is my friend going through the stuff. And I gave her a link to the Pharmashills. Police Chief Magazine. This one's about state-created danger. Went over that a little bit in the second video, but it wasn't very loud. And I had the volume up, so I don't know why. PoliceChiefMagazine.org. Global War on Children. Physical and mental health assault. See, this is old hat to a lot of us. We already know all this. But I'll look at it anyway, part of the time, like now. This one here, The Secret Covenant.